Hello again, fellow lights and light travelers. Welcome once more to Light Journeys Tarot. I appreciate your being here with me. This week's reading feels like a reclamation of who you always have been and who you always will be. This is you reclaiming and stepping back into the power that you always have, that you always were, and you always will be. Enjoy reclaiming the child within. Hello, fellow lights and light travelers. Welcome again to Light Journeys Tarot. I appreciate your being here with me. I thank you always for showing up, for connecting, for sharing these videos if they so resonate with you or you feel someone might need these readings. Thank you for helping to just spread that light. As I like to always caveat, trust yourself. Know that myself and any others, right, we are here to help guide, to educate, to entertain. But at the end of the day, you yourself have the power to take and make decisions that will impact your life. And if you lead from the heart and you trust yourself and you start working on trusting that intuition, you will make decisions in your highest good. And if mistakes happen, yet we all make mistakes, grant ourselves the grace to forgive, to learn, and to move forward with that learning and knowing, right? Little kids, as they're learning to walk and stuff, or they're playing, they knock over a tower. Sometimes, yes, little kids will cry, but oftentimes they'll knock it down and they'll go, I'm going to start again. Or they realize that, you can't hit it, or you can't pull the toy in a certain way, or it won't work, right? So we have to take that same young curiosity in our life as we go through. And yes, as we get older, sometimes decisions are more impactful. But there is the invitation for grace to ourselves to grow and to know everything's going to be okay, and you can learn from it, you can move forward. So I wanted to read today. I felt drawn to use the Mental Monsters deck. I had not yet used it. I feel like there is a message that wants to come forth for the collective from this particular deck. Please note that I never give like mental health or health readings. If this resonates with you, depending on what comes forth, if you feel the need, reach out to your community. Always put your health in however that is, mental, physical, however that is. Put forth the effort to do what you need to do to be here, to be the healthiest version of yourself. If that means going to a doctor, if that means resting, if that means meditating, if that means however that goes to you, please do what's in your highest good. Please seek any connections, help you may need, so that you're not alone, and to get yourself to the healthiest, healed version of yourself that can then go forward and do the best good in the world. So I'll leave it at that. With that rambling, sorry I always make it long, let's get into the Mental Monsters Tarot and see what messages want to come through for the collective this week. All right, Spirit, what message wants to come forth this week for the collective, for their highest good? What message wants to come forth from this deck for the collective here that has come to this video, whenever they come to this video? What message would like to come forth? Okay, trusting the stop. We have the High Priestess, and the card here also says delusion. We have the Six of Swords, pattern migration. You see that okay? So pattern migration, Six of Swords. And we have the Magician, unleashed potential. It's beautiful card to come out. Beautiful. All right. let's get into it. Let's see what message is coming forth, one card at a time. So the High Priestess is a card of strong intuition, of strong divine feminine energy, right? It's that connecting to that intuitive side. It doesn't matter if you're male or female or non-binary, right? No, this isn't trying to pigeonhole you in a gender. It's just stating that flow of connection to your inner knowing, okay? That intuitive side of yourself that, you know, historically is referred to as the feminine side, okay? Not trying to label or make anyone uncomfortable with that. With this card being delusion, there could be a bit of, and this is the past, right? So in the past, there is, I want to say, a self-doubt or an imposed doubt, okay? So this could have been in the past. You either doubted yourself or others made you feel doubtful of you, yourself, your intuition. You know, they could have said, you know, oh, you're so imaginative. Oh, you're just making it up. Oh, blah, 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 blah. Oh, you're so silly. This type of stuff isn't whatever it may be, right? And then you start to second guess yourself. Like, was I right on that feeling that I had about that person? Like, I felt like it was off, but, you know, other people are telling me this person's okay, or this situation's okay, or whatever it may be. And you, in that delusion that sets in from the community, in a sense, and not listening inward and listening outwards, right? It creates that delusion. And I'm speaking, this card is upright, so it's obviously stating that you're intuitive, but I want to, with this type of deck, respect the, you know, mental monster's take of it. So that delusion crept in the past of listening to the outside, right? We ourselves as human creatures, as human beings, as human souls, as part of this human family, live in such a way that there are societal constructs, societal norms, cultural norms, X, Y, Z, whatever you want to, whatever boxes and labels you want to put to it, right? That we get born into. And due to that, sometimes, and it could have been in your past, when you had that strong intuition as a child, when you were younger, you were taught, okay? I don't want to say that this is a you thing. I want to say because of the culture, because of society, because of da-da-da-da-da. And we're not holding blame. We're just having awareness of what took place. It helped create an armor that kind of, I don't want to say blocked, sheltered you from that side of yourself, that intuitive side, and created a delusion around, oh, that's not, oh, everybody, you know, sometimes feels like that, where they feel something. That doesn't mean anything, right? Like, we've all learned to just have these moments that are extraordinary. Like, oh, how weird, I was thinking about you and you called, or I turned and you were looking at me, like, and then we just brush it off as in, oh, what a coincidence. And, you know, we've learned to, stuff like that isn't real, blah, 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 blah. So in the past, the intuition that you house, that is still innately in you, that is your gift, that is our natural state of being, was made to feel like delusion, illusion, not real. You're just imagining things. And over time, you learn to kind of close your ears and turn your eyes. I just got the image of the see no evil, hear no evil, speak no evil monkeys that cover their eyes, their ears, their mouth, right? You learn to say, this intuition is not that. No, I'm wrong, you know? And then it's like, you know, right? There's that fight that comes into you when you go, oh, like, I should have just right? Like how many times have you, like, I can speak for myself, okay? I've been like, oh, I wish I would have, I thought that, I knew better, I felt it, like, why didn't I listen to myself, right? And that comes in the relearning and the growing to get away from the learning that we were taught to not listen to ourselves and our truth and the inherent inner knowing of oneself. Like if you lead with your heart will lead you in the right path. As long as it's healthy for yourself and others, right? Like always have that perspective. Let's look at the cards. Sorry, that was a big rambling before I even got to the cards, but this is what's coming through from my connection at this moment. So what I'm drawn to here is, right, there's this girl and she's looking up and she's seeing that there's more than meets the eye, right? Others might not pick up on the awareness of, in this case, right, she's seeing something like the ghost here in this picture, right? It doesn't have to be literal like that. It could be, you just felt, you intuited, right, when you were younger, that person felt off, or that job didn't seem right, or this thing didn't feel like it would be a fit, right? Like you're seeing beyond, you're feeling beyond, you're able to perceive. And this almost feels like, this feels like the society, right? They're looking both at you, but also that, like, like that type of stuff isn't, like, we don't acknowledge that. Like they look like they're hiding. This feels like the collective, right, that's emerged, and this isn't afraid, this is curious. This is, what's that? This feels correct. It feels like I'm right. It feels like where this comes in. And let me see, is that like a newspaper? I can't even see it in the thing. It's a little tarot deck. Okay. I'm going to, I will leave it as the tarot deck. What came into my mind was a newspaper when I initially saw it. You can read that into the stories that you're sold. And if you flip it and you use your intuition, you can connect with the tarot and find the deeper, truer meaning to oneself, right? So if it were the delusion, right? It came through, I was like, oh, is that a newspaper? No, that's not a newspaper. Okay. If it was a newspaper, right? There are stories, right? Sometimes you see propaganda. There are narratives, is what I want to say, that will be pushed by the author, the company, the news journalism, the country, whatever it is that's being sold to you. In this case, right, we were talking about the culture and the society, right, that want to make you think a certain way. And if enough people think that way, then collectively the society agrees, no, that's not right. Or yes, this is right, right? That's a good thing. That's a bad thing. This is a norm. This is not in the norm. So that intuitive feeling that you had in the past, if you were to flip it and connect back, this could be tarot, this could be meditation, this could be prayer, this could be sitting in silence in nature and just allowing things to silence and to breathe and to allow those thoughts to clear. That could be how it connects you back to yourself, however that may be. That you can connect back into that side of you that maybe in the past was made to feel like delusion and illusion. You were made to fear or think it as something fearful. So you're being invited again to go back to a sense of curiosity and out of fear and back into this curious, open-hearted journey in the safest way possible. Okay. Let's move on to the next card. The Six of Swords is moving on from something, right? This feels like when you've packed up from something that no longer serves you, it feels like a move that you're taking, right? Like it could be a physical move. You could be moving from a house. It could be moving from an old way of being. This feels like the part where you're turning the page, right? That's that, whoop, like this is the Six of Swords. It's that turning of the page. And you're moving out of old ways of thinking into a new way of thinking and being. So this feels like, paired with that other card, that you're moving out of that sense of what once was made to feel like things are delusions, and you're coming back into trusting yourself and trusting that intuition. You're moving into that chapter. And this literally says pattern of migration. So it feels like in this change, and what's also beautiful is I'm drawn to the little light on the character in the middle. It feels like you're being led by your higher self, by your light, by your North Star, okay? Towards a destination. And right now it looks unknown, right? But what I do notice in this card is there are clear skies, or clearer skies. So this could also be because it's swords and it's mental. I don't mean mental monsters, but swords means air, means mental things, right? Things of the mind, thoughts, all that stuff. The clearer skies means it feels like you're moving into and away from this period of self-doubt and delusion. Although you have a strong intuition, right? That is that card that comes forth, that High Priestess. You are strong in intuition, but you were taught to doubt yourself. You're moving out of that chapter. You're migrating away from that. You're following your light, and you're moving into clarity of mind. And I also want to say clarity of intuition, right? Let's bring that over into this. You're learning how to trust your inner light to guide you, to trust moving from a heart space. And it's moving you into this next chapter. This is where you're currently at. This is where you were, and this is where you are currently, okay? You are moving into that remembered sense of trust in oneself, and that remembrance of your connection to the divine, right? And your remembrance of, how powerful you are, how capable you are, how loved you are, how not alone you are. This is the clarity is coming in, and I definitely feel like it's tied to your intuition, that you are starting to trust again, that your intuition has always been there. And you're learning how to trust yourself, how to clear your mind again, how to reconnect with that so that you can move forth in the path, to know how to navigate, to migrate through choppy waters to the clearer chapters, to getting on your highest path. We're always, trusting that no matter what, you would always be on your highest path because the universe has you. So that clarity of mind is coming in, that you are the light, that you have the light, that you will be the light, right? And that this clear path will lead you forth by trusting yourself, by going inside, by clearing away the doubt from before. All right. The Magician is manifestation. It is your personal power. And what this card states, they're all connected. Ooh, sorry about that. It says here, unleashed potential. So, as you see here, the Magician looks a little shocked, right? Unleashed potential can seem, right, can feel overwhelming, can feel scary, but it doesn't necessarily need to be that way, right? What I'm drawn to is that it's showing, as it does with the Magician card, all the elements. So it feels like an invitation to, in the healing, in the journey, in the migration, in the changing pattern, you're being called to come into balance with all the parts of yourself, the fire, the water, the air, the earth, right? The material part that is you, your willpower, your drive, your creativity, your thoughts, and your emotion. All of these things, when you balance them, when you clear your connection to them, when you ground yourself in your love and in the healthiest form of yourself, right? you will move through this world with unleashed potential. That is not something you need to fear, because you will have done the work to utilize that potential for your highest good and the highest good of all. You're unleashing it because you will have stepped into your power. So you will finally being like, boom, this is me. This is how I manifest in this world. This is how I show up. This is me and all my beautiful storied life that I've carried thus far. These scars have taught me. I have fought through, I just had a quote from Labyrinth that came through when I said I have fought through. I have fought through, perils unnumbered and da-da-da-da. I don't know it off the top of my head. Actually, give me a quick pause. I'm going to read you the exact quote because it kind of clocked in. So we're going to read that because it feels relevant. Let me do a quick look it up. Okay, so like I said, these things that you've been through, these things that you have been taught, your life that you've lived, the things that you've had to move beyond, like the way you've been taught to doubt yourself and the things that you've had to overcome in your life, right? Thus comes in the quote. And she says, "Through dangers untold and hardships unnumbered, I have fought my way here to the castle beyond the Goblin City, to take back the child that you have stolen." And in this case, okay, that got me emotional. I don't think it's, in the movie, it's her little brother. This feels like you, the child that you have stolen, that inner creative, intuitive, wide-eyed and wondering, hopeful, loving being, right? That you still are, in spite of what you've been through, in spite of what you've been told. Through dangers untold and hardships unnumbered, I have fought my way here to the castle beyond the Goblin City, to take back the child that you have stolen. For my will is as strong as yours, and my kingdom as great. You have no power over me, because you have recognized, have balanced yourself, have cleared your mind, your heart, all parts of you, to step back into your unleashed power. You have no power over me because I have the power. I was always intuitive. I always led with my heart. I always knew no matter what, I was going to get here. And yes, this is your future. So believe that you're going to get here. Believe that you have the power and you're going to get to this part of you have no power over me. I have the power. I have the power. And that doesn't mean that you have to wield it in a hurtful way. Because you know what? Hurt people. And by this time, you're not a hurt person anymore. By this point, you have healed. By this point, you're leading from a space of, I wish you well, and I hope that you also heal so that you no longer hurt and you no longer hurt others. But I know for me, because of all the perils I've been through, that I found my way back to me, that you will not steal my inner child. That inner child has always been with me. And I am reclaiming that inner child. I am reclaiming that intuition. I am reclaiming that truth, okay? And I have the power and I am healed. And I'm going to move through this world the way it didn't move for me. But I will give grace to the fact that I am taking from it the knowledge of my own strength, of my own connection, of my own truth, and of my own power. It does not right what was done to you. It does not make it correct. But it reveals to you that they could never hurt you by way of completely putting out your light. Your light was always shining. That inner child was always there. That love and power never diminished. They have no power over you. You have the power. And now you're going to go be that light for yourself, and if you so choose, for others. And you know what? Sometimes just by living your light, it inspires others. It doesn't mean you have to even do anything. Yes, it's good to go do things. It's good to help others. It's good to be a good pillar in your community. It's good to, help at, shelters and, help to, vote to get good people in that are going to make change, or be the person that represents others to create a good change, whatever it may be. But you're also that light just by living your healed self and that light. And if that's all, if it's been a lot and that's all that feels easy enough to handle, by you healing you, I promise that your light emanates out, and your power and that frequency will affect others. So even if it's just your path leading your path, then so be it. I also feel like in healing, you will help to lead by example, and perhaps even be moved to continue to help others, right? And I do feel like this collective here are people that are looking at their journey, the perils untold, the hardships unnumbered, and seeing themselves, seeing their power, seeing your power, and reclaiming it in the healed, strongest way possible, which I love. You will have unleashed potential, and that's unstoppable. You have no power over me. And then everything crumbles away, the illusions crumble away, all that crumbles away, and you realize it's okay. It always has been, and it always will be. You will always be okay. The universe has you. All right. That was a beautiful message. Let me go ahead and pull some oracle cards to see what else Spirit wants to bring through. All right. The first one I'm drawn to is the Trust Your Vibes. So let's go ahead and see what wants to come forth. Okay, Spirit, what message else? What other message wants to come forth for this collective? What other message would like to come forth for this collective? Forgive me if I exhale a lot. It's just I'm in the flow and the vibe. And I like to feel into it, so I get kind of in a really relaxed state when I'm reading. Okay, trusting the stop. Seek higher ground. All right, let's read and see what wants to come through. It's beautiful. Seek higher ground says, right now you are guided to step away from the heavy and dissonant energy of the outer world and seek higher ground. So this feels like that's part of that pattern of migration, that moving forward, that clearing your mind energy that's coming through. Thank you, Spirit. Meditate, pray, contemplate, whatever you're called to. Spend time in nature. This is what I just said. And bathe in the serenity of silence. That's so funny. I love when Spirit's just like, and by the way, I'm also going to agree and say, yes, that was good advice. So you're going to repeat it in the card that you're going to get. Thank you, Spirit. Avoid negative and demoralizing people and refuse to engage in gossip and attack anyone, including yourself. If people around you attack you, turn your back and walk away. Do not get trapped or sabotaged by others' negativity trying to pull you down and keep you stuck. Move forward to seek higher ground. Move confidently and steadily and place the highest importance on your peace. Do not rush. Do not overschedule. Focus on what uplifts your spirit and renews your energy, and pursue that above all. Rise above the lower frequencies of the world and refuse to get distracted. Even though much of the lower world is struggling, you don't have to. The higher you go, the more quickly you will be led to what is best for you. That's beautiful. And I feel like that goes right here. It feels like Spirit was giving you confirmation right here on this moving to clearer grounds, this pattern of migration that's coming through. That's one of my gems right there. Right there. All right, beautiful. Thank you, Spirit, for that confirmation, for that wonderful advice. The next card deck that I was drawn for you is this one, the Oracle of the Hecatean Path, which I have not yet utilized, so let's see what message wants to come through from Spirit. All right, Spirit, what message wants to come through? What extra message wants to come through for the collective on this deck? What message wants to come through for the collective? What extra message would like to come through for the collective? All right. This says Prostizos primordial origins. Oh, nice. All right. Let's go ahead and put this down. And I don't know if you can see it that well. And just in case, although this looks pretty much, it's not really showing anything, but just to be on the safe side, we're just going to go ahead and cover that. Just to be on the safe side. Okay, let's see what the book says. Okay, it says prostistos, sorry. Primordial origins. Hecate's true origins are lost in time. We all originate from a single point in the creation matrix, and Hecate exists both at the very beginning and the very end. Where do you originate from? On your path to Hecate, many of us are focused on where we're heading and navigating one crossroad after the other, or after another. But we need to look back and make peace with the past to understand the present and plan for the future. That's beautiful. What's also interesting is I kind of want to put into this card is making me think of a lot of movies from the 80s. Sorry, this is also making me think of, oh, my brain, The Never-Ending Story. The Never-Ending Story. So there's a part where they have to face themselves. They get to a part where they have to face the thing about themselves and essentially like transmute that energy to not have fear of that thing of themselves to pass, right? To like have healed themselves. And what's interesting, I hope I'm not ruining these movies for you because I feel like the other one was a spoiler. This is going to kind of be a spoiler. So if you don't want to hear that, maybe pause it, fast forward, I'm not sure. But going into it, the other thing that I love about that movie and what's coming this forth, right? They're talking about healing your past and moving all through that to become in your present, which will then thus manifest your future. And part of that could be reclaiming that child from the past, reclaiming that part that was wounded, dismissed, unheard, right? And in doing that, you will manifest this future of your own power. There is this awareness in the movie that is revealed that this has been written. And I don't want to say, okay, well, what about free will? We're not talking about that. Free will is 100%. You still have it. The fact that you were coming here to learn, the fact that you came into this life to grow, the fact that you're coming into this awareness of your intuition, of the greaterness of all of it, that was always there. And this becomes revealed, that you are in this never-ending story and that you're not alone. And that we're here with you. this collective, you stumbled upon my video because this message was meant to reach you, because you are becoming aware, because you are knowing that there is greater things in play than the story or the character that you were born into, right? You're connecting back to the true essence of yourself and healing that. You're creating and moving into, by presently creating and moving into with those actions, your future, your power, the revealing of the never-ending story. The fact that it's okay, this is a cycle, that we're all connected, and that you've got this, and that you have the ultimate power. You are a creator, you are a manifester. If you haven't believed that, you will come into an awareness and a knowledge of and a power of yourself to be able to do that. And you know what? Maybe you're not typical manifester. Well, I can think about things that they'll happen. You know what? Yes. You, when you were wounded as a child or not believed, always wished, why don't they believe me? I wish they believe me. I want this to be true. Da-da-da-da-da-da-da-da-da. You are doing the healing and you're like, no, I believe me. I believe that I trust that I know how to make and navigate this world, that if I make mistakes, I'll get on the right path, and I'm going to start trusting my gut more and trusting the lessons that I've learned and utilizing that knowledge to make better decisions, which is going to get me on my path. And you have manifested. You have overcome all the perils, all the da-da-da-da-da. You have found your way through the labyrinth. You are making your way through. You have the power. No one else has the power. No one else has the power. No one else has the power. They did not get rid of that child within you. They did not put out that light. You have the power. And by healing and loving yourself, by healing what was in the past, by learning and growing, by transmuting it in your present and taking that knowledge and that love for yourself, you're moving into your power and your future. And there's only ever the present. So really that and that, all there is now. So all you're being asked for in this moment is to continue to have that faith, that belief, that love for yourself, to do the work that's going to push you into creating these pathways. And you know what? You've been doing it because you've led yourself here. They weren't able to stop you, whatever that may be. Society, your parents, your friends, your enemies, da-da-da-da-da-da. It didn't stop you. Now you're healing, you're transmuting, and you're going to move into a future of unlimited power because you have belief in yourself. You have no power over me. I have the power. I have the free will. I'm going to move with love. I'm going to move with light. I'm going to make a difference for me, and thus I'm going to shine in this world differently, and it's going to make a difference for others. So beautiful, beautiful, beautiful. Seek that higher ground. Keep moving. Know that you've got this, and know that beautiful things await you on the other end. I'm happy for you. Continue to, I don't want to say fight, because I don't want to bring out that contentious energy. Continue to uplift and support the child that is still within you. The boy who's found his way to Fantasia to find out that the world that he is creating is one of his own, that he has the power, that he has the ability. The girl who gets to the end of the labyrinth and knows that she has the power all along and nothing can stop her. It doesn't matter. Time's an illusion and everything's okay. That it's all just a play and we're all just in it, enjoying and growing and loving. Wish you peace. I wish you continued light journeys. I wish you continued perseverance and happiness and growth. And know that you're going to get to the side. Know that this is coming for you. You've got this. Thank you again. I'll see you all at my next reading. If you do want a personal reading, please do check out my Etsy or my Ko-Fi pages. It's linked after this. and wishing you all the best. Bye.